Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is Terrell from Terrell03.com. Today's Tuesday. It's June 30th, 2026. It's 10:32 a.m. Central Time here in the Ozarks. And let's see. Before we get started, let's do some question and answers. From disaster to catastrophe. Why Venezuela's ground moved so strangely during the double quake. This is Silky. And I sent some links in that direction as a comment from Black Star Reports. Black Star Update Reports. Here are some links you guys might want to check out. So I sent the link to the 7.2, 7.5 Venezuela quake, the one that shows the position, the epicenter locations as the moon was passing between the Earth and the black star at the alignment. That's the double jolt, the power buildup in the magnetic polar connection. That looks like that's what happened. And like with the Cuba quake at the Earth Sun black star alignment, that was really strange. Remember M3BBB guy? Quakes don't strike in that location, but the epicenter location was on the black star sun center line. So the Earth received an electromagnetic jolt, and apparently the moon was in perfect position to create an amplified jolt. And then when the moon moved just far enough, you got an unexpected disconnect and reconnect really fast that provided that secondary jolt. That's certainly how it looks to me. So I wanted to send some information and told them that, oh, this link right here has been updated. The Terrell writes to Michael Snyder, Weston. It's been updated to include last week's newsletter and the 2024-2025 seismic data. So that goes right up to whenever you could now download and have the access to all the seismic data going back to 2014. The 2014 link, when we go through the links, I'll show you. That has been fixed too. So you have access to all the seismic charts from 2014 now, all the way to last week's newsletter. And so you can download it. I've been kind of feeling my mortality here lately. And so one of you guys wrote to me under, was it Rumble? He said, for a guy that's supposed to be awake, that his exact wording is not coming to me, but you're being kind of stupid. Well, that's what I said, stupid me. It was difficult because if go back to my interviews, Dr. Jason Dean told me the same thing. There's all the junk that's in the Gatorade. It was difficult for me to believe that the NFL, for example, the official drink of the NFL, would they have, you see them dumping Gatorade on each other after the game and such. It's difficult for me to fathom that the doctors, the trainers for pro sports, from Major League Baseball to all of them, the NBA, that they pump poison into their athletes. These are multi-million dollar athletes, and they're pumping with poison. It was difficult for me to fathom that. And then I'm a human being. I put my pants on one leg at a time, just like everybody else. And when you get things in your head a certain way, I'm hard-headed. I'm obsessive about a lot of things. Makes me a good researcher. I'm like a dog with a bone. I'm just going to keep at it, keep going at it. It's one of the reasons I ran myself into the ground, is trying to get these prepper projects done. And too many vitamin supplements and too many, you guys have heard it all before. So sometimes we have to learn the lesson the hard way. And now I've learned my lesson. I dumped out all my Gatorade in the refrigerator, and now I made with the sea salt, the real salt that Dr. Deborah recommended, and instead of table sugar, then glucose from my lab. And so now that's what I'm drinking whenever I'm working outside and such. So we're living in a 2012 Deep Impact Contagion movie, and it's real. Patrick Humphrey, and he's making a video, and of course it's big breaking news. He may have to relocate because of the fires. What's happening out west? It seems to me it's just getting started. As the heat dome is coming across, spreading all the way across the United States, and this is going to get worse. A lot of the crops that are planted now, that a lot of crops were not planted because of drought and fertilizer prices, and now a lot of those that are planted are about to suffer drought conditions and heat in the west, in the center part of the country, and flooding in the east. I know. It's a black star gets closer, the Earth loses the ability to sustain life. That's what we're seeing. It's super hot conditions, like what they're seeing in Europe right now, and in the eastern part of the United States, 100-degree temps. We're just getting started on that. Yen versus dollar. Yen is trading at 162.27 yen against the US dollar. Currency has gained, yeah, the US currency has gained. So this means Japanese yen has fallen to a 40-year low, largely due to the Federal Reserve. The dollar is being weaponized against the world. Japan needs to wake up and realize that they're on a life raft and the United States has cut them loose. The United States just went around South Korea, Japan, Philippines, and took back interceptor missiles so they could defend Israel. And what I wrote back, keeping the yen interest rates at 1% for so long has consequences. The dollar is being weaponized against Japan, and Japan feels it. It's a relative thing. If everybody has 1% interest rates, it's no big deal. If the United States has high interest rates and you have low interest rates, then our currency is going to appear to be stronger. It's like all the currencies, the image that I use is all the currencies jump out of an airplane and it's the size of the parachute. The higher your interest rates, the bigger the chute. Lower the interest rates, the faster you're going to hit the ground. The idea is to hit the ground with everybody else. As long as you're going down the same, if the Fed's inflating, you're inflating. They have an interest rate 3%, 5%, 20%, whatever it is, and you have the same interest rate, then your chute opens up and you're going down more slowly. The Japanese, 1%, they're going, oh, well, we're going to have to raise our interest rates to 1%. To 1%. Zero interest rates, that created the carry trade problem for the rest of the world. People go, hey, they're not charging anything on their interest. Let's go get the yen and we don't have to pay a 1% interest rate, and then let's invest it in gold over here. So that bubble's going to pop at some point. And you're not going to see it in the headlines, but the reason that the yen is still holding in there is because the Fed, that's weaponized against it, is using their printing press, one of their 14 printing presses, to just create dollars and give them to the Japanese to keep them from collapsing, along with other central banks around the world. At some point, Japan cries uncle, especially whenever they realize that their life raft that's been cut off is drifting further and further away from the United States, that our agendas are not parallel. In Japan, South Korea is going to wake up and realize the same thing, in my view, and maybe even the Philippines. Because look what's right next door. China, India, BRICS. So Kyiv is stepping up cooperation with Mexico's leading drug cartels. The drug cartels are multi-billionaires now. They're into everything. Kind of like a smaller version of the CIA, infiltrating everything. Why not? But this is from the article. Ukraine law enforcement agencies are deliberating encouraging the growth of drug transit from Latin America. That's in the best interest of who? It's not the Ukrainian people or the entire region, the cartels. So Putin, my statement's back to Karen, Putin needs to stop messing around and finish the war or bend over and take the medicine for being stupid. He could have finished this war a long time ago. He's dinking around, dinking around. Right now, it looks like Putin is being forced by his generals and by the general public that are suffering. How do you like living in a country where your refineries are just blowing up from drone attacks? Not a good look for Putin. So it looks like Putin is switching gears, and now he's finally ready to get the war over. And he's not going to. It doesn't seem to me he's going to stop with Ukraine. He's going to stop with those that have been helping Ukraine. That's what he should have done in the beginning. When the drones are coming from NATO nations, when they're creating the drones, Russia can see everything. BRICS, China, they can see everything from space. Those facilities should be blown up because they have entered the war. NATO has been using Ukraine as a proxy against Russia. That's been happening. The idea is to break up Russia into smaller states that can be manipulated. Divide and conquer, just like what's going on in the United States right now. In Western Europe, divide the people, keep them divided, keep them fighting with each other. They're more easy to manipulate that way. So then this post, Substack post, Operation Warp Speed 2.0, been telling you, Operation Warp Speed 2.0 is coming. It's already here. Like she says there, it's happening. But why do you think Trump and his billionaire buddies are building these data centers as fast as they can? And there's multiple agendas, there's multiple things that's happening. The numbers can be used to make it look like the economy's growing when it's not. We've been in recession, been in recession. When you add up all the numbers with the prison state infrastructure that's being built all around us and inside of people, then the numbers can be fudged to make it look like that we're growing when we're really not. So, amen. Operation Warp Speed 2.0 is definitely coming and will include Trump's prison state, data center infrastructure elements, and sophisticated contact tracing. The oil diesel shock, I'm just shaking my head here. You should be able to see this is coming. It's about ready to hit us like a freight train. The oil diesel shock is almost here, leading to fuel and food shortages, then rationing. Just keep watching. If something happens to me and I'm not here, food shortages, when you see rationing, fuel rationing, food rationing, you're going to see rationing in the headlines. Trouble is coming directly after that, leading to martial law. The sheeple are going to be crying out. They want martial law so bad. You must institute martial law. You must get the military on the streets for our peace and our safety. Because Mad Max is going to come out. These terror cells are just waiting for their orders. Are going to be activated. They're going to be interrupting the flow of fuel and food, things that we need. They're going to be blowing up, instead of refineries, and they're going to be blowing up power plants, cutting down power lines, infecting the water with contagions and such. That's what happens when you have a real terrorist problem, not people on the internet typing on their computers and sending texts on Facebook. Actual people, boots on the ground, taking down power lines and pulling up railroad sections of railroad. You just have to take out one section of railroad in the right location on a turn, downhill turn, and choose the right place so the train goes over the cliff. There's lots of that here in the Ozarks. A lot of that in the Appalachian Mountains, a lot of that in Rocky Mountains. And whenever, somebody that's really smart devises a plan, all of a sudden the whole place starts coming apart. And that's what's coming. The chaos, it's already chaos, is going to transition to mayhem and then pandemonium. Operation Warp Speed 2, that's going to be part of it. Systematic destruction of the economy, destroy the power, which is happening right in front of our eyes. Trump's emptying the emergency oil reserves, shipping it overseas. I'm assuming you're listening to Nima and Mario, the Colonels, the people that I'm about to share with you. I'm assuming that you're keeping up with all that. I mean, I'll go by and show you the links, but I'm not making Substack posts or even showing in the report, as I've already made the Substack post. Say, listen to these guys. They're going to keep you up to date. So everybody's going to wish they had more nano silver once the peanut butter hits the fan. You guys are my witnesses. Everybody's been warned. You're probably sick of me warning you. But whenever we're on the other side of this collapse and they play the pestilence card, Operation Warp Speed 2 card, then people are going to be petrified to even leave the house to go get any food. They're going to be driven out of their house by hunger and by needing water and needing power and the things that I'm telling you we need to be self-sufficient on as much as possible, according to our resources. Activation day is most certainly coming. Everybody is wise to prepare. Why we have time to prepare right now. Later, we're not going to have time to prepare. It's going to be, the music is going to stop. Nothing from Amazon, nothing from Walmart.com, nothing from any of the places. No chemtrails. Where I live, we haven't had any chemtrails sprayed in our skies overhead. You are out west, lower western part of the United States. I think we said before which state you're in, Brian. Even one of my neighbors has noticed, the chemtrails suddenly stop. I think they're not spraying anymore because they're either low on jet fuel or conserving it. That's a hunch because I lived here since 2021. It's the first time we've gone 2 weeks without it. So, brother, I disagree with you. The fact that they're not chemtrailing is a bad sign. Before you gasp, oh, is it too late? Did you already gasp? Rothschild, Rockefeller, Gates, eugenics have been spraying chemtrails on the population and the land for decades. So if you go back and look, you're going to see this has been going on for over 50 years. And they have plenty of resources, like $500 trillion. And they have, if I have diesel and tanks, they've got facilities with all kinds of resources. That's not it. They have likely achieved their objective in your region with your drought conditions, the transitioning into desperation mode. You guys realize the U.S. West is in desperation mode with the water, even over into Texas, even Nebraska. That sucking sound in the background, that's the wells running dry, along with the oil reserves going dry. What happens when your power goes dry, your energy, and your water runs dry? What happens? People either have to relocate or they die. That's it. Especially in its 100-degree heat. people going to die trying to get out of Dodge, and they won't have the fuel to even get all the way there. Because I'm not kidding you, you're going to see it on diesel first. You're going to be going, just moseying on down to Walmart or wherever it is you get gas from, and there's going to be bags on the diesel first. You'll be able to get gas, don't have diesel. That affects the trucking and the transporting of food. That all of a sudden is sitting and waiting and can't get to where it needs to go, and then is ruined. Anything that's refrigerated, fresh vegetables, things like that. So the day is coming. You should get ready for it. When you go in to the store, the local Aldi's or whatever, and there's canned goods until the canned goods run out. But the supply chain. So the bananas come from Brazil that are on a ship that runs on diesel and then gets to a port that is taken off the boat with a crane that runs on diesel and then put on a truck that runs on diesel, right? It goes to the distribution center, and then it's put on a truck and taken to your local store that runs on diesel. Any one of those along the supply line that runs out of their fuel breaks the chain. So we have a sophisticated system, network, supply chain, and a lot of it's the on-demand that works as long as everything is well greased and well fueled and everything's going the way it's supposed to. But what we're going to see here in the United States, it's already happening in Australia, is people just aren't going to have the diesel. And then people aren't going to have the diesel to even go to the store to get the stuff that can't get there because there's no diesel. So before there's no diesel, it's going to be rationing. Then think things through to realize the rationing is going to lead to, do you qualify to get diesel? So I can tell you about that when I was young, and there was rationing of fuel. You could only get so many gallons, 10 gallons and then 5 gallons, and then it keep as the situation, as the supplies are diminishing. That's the way it goes. But this is going to be different. Sophisticated contact tracing, sophisticated. You have the data centers, you have AI, everybody, they're going to keep up with everybody about everything. And whenever you do not comply with whatever their rules and regulations are, then you're taken off the list of people that can even get diesel. Then the black market, that's where Mad Max comes in. Whenever there's rationing, Mad Max comes in and takes over. The strong survive in any system. When you get to rationing fuel and food, then Mad Max is going to control the rationing and the food because they're just going to come and take it. Mad Max is going to have his food and have his fuel. That's where we're headed. Then, as the chaos is turning into mayhem, then the terror cells are likely going to be launched in unison with what's happening in the Middle East. People think the war's over. I'm hearing commentators, they're going, oh, now that the fuel crisis is over, like who in the world, who told you that? Where'd you get that from? Even if the Strait of Hormuz was reopened today and went back to more than 100 ships per day, we're still in trouble. And guess what? It's not. It's not over. Who's keeping it closed? Who's keeping the Strait of Hormuz closed to Western civilization getting their oil from the Strait of Hormuz? Trump is. Trump needs to tuck his tail between his legs and get the heck out of Dodge. He's putting everybody in danger over there and over the Greater Israel initiative. But it's not, like I keep saying, you might be getting tired of it. It's not Netanyahu, it's not Trump, it's the global bankster cartel. Once you realize it's the global banksters doing all of this, then you remove Trump. Well, what Trump and Netanyahu are doing and saying makes sense. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. It looks like suicide. Trump is leading us down a road that's a dead end. Suicide. Israel the Greater Israel Initiative is going to turn the whole world against Israel until Turkey and Egypt and everybody in the region, all the Arabs, everybody wants to attack Israel. And the United States is going to be forced to back out. We're out of missiles. We're running out of fuel. We're being shown to be impotent, which is the global gangster cartel plan to remove dollar and military hegemony from the United States. Okay, back over here. Oh, take advantage of the special running with the Nano Silver. Have your orders in by 8 a.m. Central Time on Friday. Everybody gets a copy of my book, The Mystery Explained. Both versions, the extended PDF version. You get a copy of my 9/11 book. You get a, well, anyway, tons and tons. You get an education on Nano Silver and how to neutralize biological weapon threats. Okay, when we start the links, and I'm gonna let you listen a little bit to this young lady that I discovered yesterday playing the violin, and I had to stop and listen because doing these reports, I mean, it's depressing, isn't it? How many people are? I mean, this is what I'm sharing with you. I mean, you have to admit it's pretty darn depressing. And listening to that little girl play that violin, I'm not kidding you. It had an impact on me yesterday. So we'll get to that in a minute. The earthquakes just won't stop. New Madrid fault and Cascadia subduction zone both get shaken. Okay, one thing you notice, you're going to get a full report tomorrow, so I'm going to do this pretty quick. I'll just show you 7 days in the larger magnitude earthquakes. See the fives that are pushed up in the U.S. West Coast right here. The large, obviously, the boom boom as the moon passed between us and the black star right here. But what I'm seeing signatures right here. Notice the number of the deep harmonic tremors, see all the white ones. This number is increasing right here. Then you see where the deep harmonic tremor activity on the Indonesia side of the origination zone. You know, you were told that it's going to restart down here in Indonesia. There it is. It's about 3 days old, and this one just struck. So just like clockwork, this activity is kicking off again. Internal pressures are slowing a little bit. They're lowering a little bit. And this repeating cycle along quarter 1 there is starting up again. And you see the white, see the whites, spanking brand new. This is showing evidence of the bulge. We're moving away from the black star, but there's still that it was Antarctica, South America, and then Africa. Then it would take 3 or 4 weeks for the whole cycle. And then what showed up at the end of the last uptick period was the Eurasian bulge. A lot of white that's happening right now. So a lot of new quake activity. So this is indication here of the push that's still trying to happen as we're still near the peak of the uptick period, the recent uptick period. We're still in June. We're leaving now. And though the Earth is still responding to all the internal pressure is what we're seeing now just for 1 day since your report from yesterday. 4.2. That's part of the new activity that's been happening along St. Lawrence Seaway. I wonder what depth that they put on that 10. That's not the typical signature. The 6, 7, 8 magma upwelling signature. That's not it. This is a sister quake to what's happening on the other side over here. Even though I know this is Cascadia. This is not a subduction zone. You have the spreading of tectonic plates right here. There's something else that's happening here. It has to do with the pressure from the southern hemisphere. That heartbeat, magnetic polar connection, connecting, disconnecting, connecting, disconnection, connecting, pressure building in the south, and then waves pushing north. That's what these are. right here. And there was a larger, what was that? Yeah, there's that larger quake, about 100 to 200 kilometers deep. Anyway, I'm going to be giving you a full report tomorrow. Basically, what I'm looking at right now, Earth is in recovery mode. I'm passing between the two stars, and you're still seeing earthquakes just won't stop. The activity should slow down, but as we just saw, environmental conditions inside the Earth can be stoked to trigger massive, multiple 7 magnitude earthquakes in almost the same epicenter location. Whenever everything lines up just the right way electromagnetically in our solar system. So information shared here. There's a lot of posts over there. My general sense is that people, it's like the days of Noah, eating, drinking, being merry, and then destruction just came. Kind of get that feeling. Operation Warp Speed 2 is happening right now. While you're reading this, she's going, oh my God, Operation Warp Speed 2. So I've been warning you that's going to happen. Witkoff, Kushner, they work for the Israeli lobby. They have no credibility in these talks whatsoever. Along with Trump. Trump says, yeah, we're gonna have a meeting. Iran is desperate for a meeting. They want to make a deal. The Iranians right. We haven't had any talks with Trump and the Americans, and we don't plan any. That's an invitation to get killed. Because the Americans, I hate to say it. I'm hearing it. I was listening to the interview, Nima and the professor, talking about what big liars Trump and the Americans are, and I just couldn't disagree. I have no evidence to say it that shows otherwise. If this is going to be a big deal, killing the Ayatollah had to be one of the biggest mistakes that the United States and Israel could possibly make. This guy was the religious leader for much of the Middle East, not just Iranians, not just anybody. Pretty much, he had followers in every country over there, and the way that it happened during negotiations, we're supposed to be having talks that lured him out to be killed. And killing of the family, and I'm just shaking my head here. The United States is the bad guys. Thousands of Muslims march in Michigan City, many wearing black, waving Islamic flags. They are extremely, extremely, that hatred is growing for the United States and Israel to the whole world, which means the groups, Muslims inside the United States, feel justified in what's about to happen. AI arms race is replacing globalism. Martin Armstrong. Everybody's talking about artificial intelligence as though it is simply the next technology boom. They're missing the bigger picture. The country that controls the chips, the data centers, electricity, and the manufacturing capacity will hold strategic advantage for decades. China is already ahead. Now take the step back and realize that China, the leaders of China, Russia, BRICS are working with Western powers, the EU, the United States, against you and me. So they're looking at this as there's competition between the nations, when in reality, there is not. See, the NDAA that comes out, really big deal. Lots of appropriations, lots of money just going to fly everywhere. Money we don't even have. It's just going to be created. That's going to devalue the money in your pocket. But Mossad and CIA are already married. They've already gone to the altar. They're already way past the honeymoon. And everybody knows it. the section 66, the 622 and 224, the House, the Senate and the House version attachments to the NDAA just makes it mandatory for that to happen. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It's the worst possible time. Whenever the world is turning on Israel, they see more people realize that the propaganda about the truth about the propaganda coming out of the Middle East, how the real terrorists are Israel and the United States funding it. Your tax dollars being used to murder children and attack hospitals in Gaza and Lebanon and the region, West Bank, the whole region is greater is Israel initiative. So Israel needs to go home, the United States needs to go home, but they're not. And the situation is being made worse. Trump manipulating the markets is keeping the paper price of oil down. So that you notice there's a pattern in the attacks and the ceasefires, attacks and the ceasefires that Trump is using so his billionaire buddies can play the markets and make hundreds of billions of dollars, taking money out of the system. Clearing up the confusion about Trump's memorandum of understanding. There's no confusion. There's 14 points. Number one point, Israel gets the heck out of Lebanon, which is never going to happen. So what's happening now, according to what I was listening to this morning, is Trump, United States, they're trying to find a way out of the MOU that they signed, trying to get away from it because Israel's interests are not met there. And the United States, the corrupt senators that are taking the AIPAC money, they're they have to find some way out of the debacle that they've created. No good luck with that because Iran, they've been steadfast the whole way. And it's not just Iran, they have the backing of BRICS. Almost nobody's talking about Russia and China are in the background. And that Iran's being used as a proxy against the West. But again, to take the step back to realize the leaders of all these nations are working together against the people, against you and me. It's the haves and those that they serve, the haves, the APECs, the lobby groups, the banksters. That's the people being served by all of this. The wealth, more and more wealth, is being siphoned from those on the bottom rungs and handed over to the billionaires. That's why the stock market keeps going up. And the lower rungs of our socioeconomic ladder in our society, those people are living in cars and then getting their cars repossessed. Seeing more and more of those videos where people are just in tears that they don't know what they're going to do. Ladies sitting in their cars having to go back and live with their parents because they just don't know what to do, don't know what else to do. People with degrees, people with a job, and they just can't make it anymore. So, yeah, Victor Davis Hanson, he's working for Israel. Fox News works for Israel. If you're, for me personally, I'm still in the pattern of when I get done work, get something to eat, turn on the TV, turn it to Fox News to see the spin. And a lot of times, to spend my practice to go to the 5 because you get different perspectives from different people. They have different people filling in now that the judge is gone. So now about 2 seconds in, I can't watch it anymore because they're lying. The narrative coming out of what these people are saying is the false narrative to serve Israel. So I have to turn it off, switch over to the YouTube, and go and listen to the Colonel and listen to Nima and Mario and the live news streams and the commentary coming from the different people. That's where we're getting the truth. Then once I listen to maybe an hour, flip it around and listen to the different commentary, and then when you flip it back to Fox News again, then it's only confirmed. I can't listen to them hardly anymore except for to see the spin. And that only takes about 5 minutes. Was that we're not getting the truth out of the lamestream media. We're on break. Senate sloth stalls Save America Act. This is the guy right here that keeps saying, "Oh, we don't have the votes. Oh, we don't have the votes. We don't have the votes." You think that's what Schumer did when he didn't have the votes? No, he went and got the votes. Pelosi, if she didn't have the votes, I mean, she would say that every now and then in the House, but generally she goes to twisting arms, man, and she gets the votes and she gets it passed. That's the thing. I mean, I can't stand Nancy Pelosi, but I mean, she's very, very successful. Whenever she put something through, she took a piece of legislation, she could get it through. If she had a House majority, she could get it through. Yeah, I mean, you have to hand it to him, right? Give credit where it's due. This guy right here, nope, he's serving Israel. And he is just fine and happy being in the minority. Mitch McConnell was perfectly happy being in the minority. It's whenever you're in the minority, you're in the position where you you're in the position to be bought and paid for, to be bribed, to get your side to do what the majority wants to do, because you still need 60 to get something to pass through, right? In the Senate. So getting those few votes, bribe McConnell, bribe this guy, this piece of right here. He would rather be in the minority. They're handing the Senate, they're handing it over to the Democrats. And I'm seeing these stories about, do the Democrats have a chance? Do they have this? The anger vote, I believe, we can't even measure it. So many people on the right, it's not that they're in love with Democrats or anything that they're doing, nothing that they're doing, but they're so freaking angry. MAGA people so angry about Trump getting us in this war and the prices at the pump and the groceries. And I mean, the list is long as your arm. The anger vote is not, you can't even measure it because people are so angry they don't even want to answer a poll. They're ashamed to even say they were part of MAGA. So they're not being polled right now, which makes it look like that the Republicans have a shot. I don't think the Republicans have a shot. Trump is going to be lame duck and impeached and convicted and maybe imprisoned, which means he's desperate, really, really desperate. Netanyahu, really, really desperate. Serving the global banks cartel has them in this position, like as if they're being sacrificed. That's what it looks like. Oh, this lady right here, Carolina Prozinko. Never heard of her until yesterday. I just saw her video over in the side when I was looking at something else and needed a break. I mean, this stuff, part of my condition I'm suffering with my health is because of all the bads that affects you. So you need something to clean the palate. You need something. And I just saw this over in the column and clicked on it. And man, I'm just not kidding you. It really made an impression on me. And this particular video right here, because I listened to a couple of them, she doesn't even know what Pink Floyd. She didn't even know what it was. And she's a concert world class in her teens as a kid. She started when she was really, really, I think 6 or something. Never saw anybody. The reason this popped up is because I was checking out Roy Clark. Roy Clark is probably the best on the violin and the all of the stringed instruments. That guy. She plays guitar and piano, and she's really, 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 really gifted. But that's the reason that it popped up as selected. Then, so whenever I have her pulled up right at the front, I'm going to give you a little taste, and I hope you'll check her out, especially if you're like me and you're just suffering from all the bad news. Then the way this little girl, the way she dances with her guitar, she's one with that instrument, and she's had advanced training to know how to the flow and the rhythm and all that. And it's she got a new violin too. Did a little bit of research on her. This is like a it's not a Stradivarius. In a video, she does play one, but this one here is French made from like the 1800s or something. Really, really, really good sound. What's coming through there. So we'll get to that. I thought I had her at the bottom if of today's report. If you want to see how much America has changed in the last 250 years, just look at what's going on in our streets. Then, so yeah, it goes back in time with our founding fathers and all that. Yeah, there we go. So let me listen. Let you. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but let's just let you listen to a little bit of Car- Carolina. That's her name. Check her out. I mean to tell you, if you're down and out, the expressions on her face and the way she moves, even her cowboy boots. I was raised on a farm. Even her cowboy boots, everything. It's just really, really amazing. She has 700 videos, and the ones I've listened so far, I haven't, like Roy Clark, I haven't been able to find her missing a note at all. And almost 9 million subscribers. I can see why. And she's just playing out there in the street. But when you go through her videos, you'll see she does concert. She plays lead violin for orchestras, and she technically just one a really world class player. But then she does, you know, all different kinds of songs she's never heard before. So really, really cool. I wanted to stop and introduce you to that little girl. This is the earthquakes that just won't stop. Earth is responding to passing between the two stars. We're moving away at this moment. Full report tomorrow. Operation Warp Speed 2. It's happening right now. Why you're reading this? Operation Warp Speed 2. I hope you guys are ready. If you want to see how much America is changing. One thing, I don't want to harp on it, but when I'm checking out the videos from Yak Motley and Economist, then one thing I'm noticing, I'm looking into the eyes of particularly the ladies sitting in their cars wondering what to do. One thing I'm noticing is the three cats and the nose ring and the blue hair and such. And just a lot of the people that own the majority of the people that own the corporations and the big business, not all of them, but a lot of them are boomers. They're the older people, and they don't take to that kind of a thing. It's mostly a left-wing thing. I know it's some on the right left-wing thing, but whenever you say you've had this many interviews and you're not getting any response, the pink hair in the nose ring might have something to do with it. Just saying. Just might have something to do with it. So people are walking around with these costumes on and wondering why they can't get in with degrees too. I mean, it's not good to judge a book by its cover sometimes. They should go by performance and such, but a lot of people don't do that. There's a job shortage out there right now. So if you know anybody, if you have a nephew or niece or something, and they're having difficulties, and you see that sign, you might wake them up a little bit on that. Not trying to be mean to anybody, but just looking at it as a, you know, former business owner perspective. Heading to Qatar when nobody trusts you. The Americans, we were in a position of power, authority, dollar hegemony, military hegemony. Everybody trusted us. Now we're circling the drain to where nobody on the planet is going to trust us. That's where everything's moving. The dollar being weaponized, literally weaponizing our military, transitioning from the Department of Defense to the Department of War, blowing up boats in the Caribbean 2,000 miles from our shores. No trial, no judge, no nothing. Judge, jury, executioner. Boom. Boat after boat after boat. Fox News, every night there for a little while, right? That's wrong. What's going on in Gaza is wrong. Systematic destruction, block after block after block. Oh, we were going after a terrorist. The United States and Israel are heading for really tough times. And we're just being brought around for the ride. We didn't sign up for it. I don't think most of you guys that are pay attention to there's a small number of us, but I don't think that we signed up for the genocide that's happening in Gaza, that's happening in Lebanon right now. Block after block after block, people killed. Double tapping. They wait for the ambulances to show up and then strike again. That's not American. That's what it is now. How do you like wearing that? I don't like it. Something really, really wrong. AI arms race. Yeah, that is a fact. And I I couldn't get to it yesterday because I don't even, I have more than 100 questions to answer for Leo. So Leo was the guy that I was telling you about. He's running with AI, and he's he's really an amazing person. And Nikki and Leo, they're really, really an amazing couple. Every time I go over there, I learn something. They're like my brother and sister, and I'm having to answer hundreds of questions from AI. So I'm not the one that's running the AI. Leo is. He's really, really good at it. Just a little tidbit that was pretty impressive to me. Then Leo's real smart, and he went to a conference in out of state. He traveled and went to the conference, and he was paying close attention to what everybody was doing. It was an AI conference. He was paying attention to what everybody was doing, and he realized that he's way ahead. He's way ahead of what's out there right now. And it looks like that my medical project is going to benefit from that. That's why I offered him uh, to be a part of it, along with Dr. Deborah and some other people. So I hope to be able to share more information about that. Right now, then I can't really share anything on that that hasn't already been shared. I'll let you know when there's a transition to that. I'm the one holding it up now. I'm holding up the project. There's things that I really had to do yesterday, and I want to get this report done so I can go jump back on that. So the AI arms race, that's happening. Some of us, me in a very small way, but Leo in a big way, are taking advantage of it to be more competitive in the market. While other people I'm not going to hack on you, Brian. I'm not going to hack on you. I'm just saying some people are looking at it as I will never ever use anything like that. So there's a giant division happening. The people that are able to use AI, it's kind of like people whenever computers came out. It's a tool. It's a tool. This has dangers, but it's a tool. And people that say I'm never going to use a computer, I'm never going to use a cell phone, I'm never, they're the ones that are being left behind. Clearing up the confusion. Oh, before I leave that, the thing that I'm noticing, and I'm going to have to clean up some of my answers because I did 120 of them, and I was getting tired there near the end. It was on Sunday. I was supposed to be resting. I thought I could get it done. Then I looked down the page. Kat came and goes, "What are you doing? You're supposed to be resting." I said, I want to get this done today." And then I scrolled down the page, and there was more to answer than I'd already answered. I realized I can't do it. It's impossible. And some of my answers, I was getting so tired that I'm just not proud of my answers. Well, the thing that I realize is once I answer all the questions the way AI wants me to answer them, AI is going to be able to reconstruct the patent application to be thorough, far more thorough than any of my patent attorneys or me or anybody could possibly do. It's going to be really, really great once it's done. So, yeah, clearing up the confusion that you are trying to create. Trump's trying to find a way, Trump's handlers are trying to find a way to get him out of this MOU because plank number one, because Israel getting out of Lebanon, that they're never going to do. Yeah, we're on break. I really don't like this guy. I'm liking him less than Schumer, Jeffries, or any of them because he's supposed to be on our side. He's supposed to be, and he's not. It's like Tom Cotton, Senator Tom Cotton, my state of Arkansas, beyond words. He's been one of my favorites. Now I see he's taking over $1 million of APAC money. This guy's taking APAC money. Our senators are being bribed, and now they want to integrate. They want to integrate Mossad and the CIA together. They're joining elements of our government with their government. Now, once that's done, we cannot absolutely. This is the we can't separate them anymore. It'll be impossible. It's likely already impossible. We're already married and going down the road to utter destruction. United States and Israel right now. It looks like this is the Substack post. Share it with somebody, please. This little girl right here, she's really something. This is the one that really impressed me. He's he asked them if they like the audience if he likes Pink Floyd, and they said we have two options. And then he looks over to her and she goes, he's explaining Pink Floyd, and then he says it's different from Red Floyd and White Floyd. She goes, and she has this look in her face. She doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, there's a Red Floyd, and then he's just kind of laughed. He says she doesn't know any of these songs. She's more of a concert pianist, but she does a lot of songs. But then she picked it right up, and the way that she played was really amazing. To never have heard the song before, and she's just as he sets up the drums, the background music. He sets up the drums. He sets up a background guitar, and gets that going. So to get the rhythm, and then he starts playing the lead. And this guy's really good too. But he starts with the lead, and then she comes in, and man, oh man, oh man, songs that she's never played before, she plays perfectly with so much creativity and expression. It's really, really something. Okay, enough on that. The U.S. Mint conspiracy. This was shared with you, yeah, 2 days ago. 1 ounce U.S. silver eagle sales stopped. Why do you think that is? Because the vaults don't have the silver. The banks are playing a shell game with paper silver. Anyone that buys contract 5,000 ounces and then the delivery comes, they're being bribed not to take it to continue moving that forward or just to take cash. printed out of the back door of the Fed that's causing more inflation. They just keep raising the price. So, oh, you get this much for your silver? Well, what about if we give you this much? They go, no, give me my silver. They say, what about this much? They keep raising it, and they say, oh man, you're going to pay me that much? Okay, worthless fiat dollars, and they make the problem go away. They're playing that game. They're going to continue playing that game, talking about the exchanges, working with the JP Morgans, the riggers. They're going to keep playing it until the global banks cartel is ready to take down the whole system. So that's in pause mode. The silver market's in pause mode right now. If it would work normally in the light of day with sunshine shining on it, it would have collapsed already. The whole system would have collapsed already. So you're looking at these low prices of silver. It should be in the hundreds of dollars. We're being lied to on a grand scale. So the $11 trillion AI bubble is breaking. Let's see if he's added to that. He says, get out now. The machines are selling. He changed the name. Oh yeah, I'm out. He was long on this and long on that in his portfolio. I'm just shaking my head. And he's out because he sees what's happening. The writing's on the wall. The whole thing's about to crash. Japan lost control of its currency. Yeah. Everybody else has high interest rates and you're at 1%. Oh, they raised it to 1%, the highest in more than a decade. Well, what do you think's going to happen? Now they're throwing everything but the kitchen sink to try and keep their currency from getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and nothing is working. Nothing. Remember, I've been telling you for a long time, the yen is going to collapse first among the major currencies, and then the euro is going to collapse after that. Give it, I don't know exactly how much time, but a matter of weeks, and then the US dollar is going to follow. They're all connected. Hedge funds are going to go down. Big banks are going to go down because the global banks cartel is taking down the system on purpose. It's just going to be controlled demolition. What's this? The oil lie exposes gold and silver price manipulation schemes. Paper, that's what you're seeing when what I've been showing you, West Texas crude, Brent, and all that. Paper, that's the paper market. It's being manipulated. People really buying real oil for delivery, they're paying twice as much around the world. July 24th, everything changes for gold trading. July 24th. I haven't seen that one. Everything's getting ready to change for sure. Oh, Trump is able to lie enough to get the prices are turning red. This is good for us. That means we have time to repair. When these turn green, stay green, and keep going up past 100, 150, your time to repair is almost over. Good barometers here. 170, and that's showing the increase. You know what that increase is right there? That's inflation. As the value of the dollar goes down, it takes more dollars to buy the same stock. So the numbers are going up. The market is crashing up from this down here. March 30th, look how much it's moved. That's because of that inflation. Eventually, everything breaks. Silver's hovering around 60. It's up $1.60 today. It's going to the moon. In the high 50s here in London. 66 bucks, still about 11%. That seems to be the disparity. 11%. Gold, it's up 28 bucks a day. That means the ratio has changed. It's dropping around 67. That was just 71. 952-213-8930. This may be your last chance to get silver at these prices. I have silver higher than the current price right now. If I had the resources available, I would have bought when it was in the 50s. And make sure that you have this price sheet. 72, yeah, 7.2, 7.5. Pretty good report. Shows you the moon played a role as it swung around. The epicenter was right there, epicenter location. The way the magnetic portal connection connected, disconnected, connected, disconnected very fast. So with the moon passing through, that's my answer for what happened. Then this is the post right here. Joe writes to Michael Snyder, Weston, and Ross about Project Black Star. This has been updated. It should have shown up in your email inbox if you're a subscriber. And then you see how that changed to 2014. I even re-uploaded this morning, and the file kept grabbing this one when I tried to replace this one. And I finally figured out how to do that to make it work right. So you have all the charts now, and this is 2014 and 15, 2016 and 17. It just used the first word of the file to when it uploaded. But you can download these for free, and then this is the newsletter from last week. You can download it, have the up-to-date information. Make sure you get the University of Maryland document that includes this file. Right click and save this file, this GIF file. This is extremely important file for the research. Not many people have it. You don't have it. Oh, this video, I'll have to look and see what's happened down there. The internet is scrubbed of real information all the time, constantly. Now AI is running it. They put AI in charge, so I shouldn't be surprised. Get to that when I can. Then 6.1 cubic Earth passing between the. So you have posts here with the moon alignment and the Earth black star alignment. Special report. How many? Oh, one new subscriber. Up to 50 for the. I'm putting these links in the black star update reports now instead of Brighteon. Brighteon worked yesterday. I was kind of surprised because most of the time it doesn't. It just keeps starting over, starting over, starting over. I upload to 4 platforms and only Brighteon fails. It started March the 20th or March 30th. Terracell, if you haven't checked this out, check it out. Listen to Deborah Tavares in her video. You're being played. I shared this today. Links to more information. Get on the regimen, get unplugged from the matrix. How to purchase mix using store. Take advantage of the special while it's still going. Orders in by 8 a.m. Central Time on Friday. Mr. Explained, attached spirit, blood, water, God, heaven, earth. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. There are patterns in the Bible, and this book is a manual on helping you to see them so you can see God's wisdom. EMP Shield, protect your vehicle, your house, and your backup power. Go here from my website and get $50 off each device. Space weather, look at that, 17.36 protons per cubic centimeter. Average wind speed, highly dense wave passing through right now. The a couple of 4 sunspots. Something is making Europe extremely hot. Yeah, the super plume has filled the entire zone. The horn formations, the magma around the horn formations are effervescing. So they're superheated, and then they become lighter, and then like a bubble on the bottom of the ocean, it just goes up, 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 and decompresses and up, and it's that hot magma is pressing against the tectonic plates, so they're being etched from the bottom. Right now, it's happening. That's why Kilauea is now it's episode number 50, eruption number 50 happening at Remember I told you that was a pause. 49, it belched, did its thing, and now episode 50 is happening, and that's a lot. And just wait for the super hot magma to get there. Fountaining is going to get pretty high again. Then it's going to taper off, but this would happen for 3 to 4 weeks after we got to the peak of the uptick period. Now there's so much hot magma racing underneath the plates right now that the heat, even the cratons are heating up, and the escape hatches are being utilized. You're seeing Etna's trying to fall apart. It's trying, the side is trying to slip and slide and crater. More and more signs. And Europe, they haven't seen anything yet. Increased ocean conveyor disruption is happening, which should cause Europe to cool. But there's so much heat from underneath that doesn't even matter anymore. 3 faults cracked before breakfast off California. One of them was Cascadia. Now this video is showing earthquakes, a pattern of earthquakes, 3 of them. See them? Earthquakes. That's up quarter 2A. I reported on that as it was happening. Then there's a link atop the newsletter. In the links, I'm going to leave that there for a while. I'll leave it there through the summer because we have more outages that are coming. California, Minnesota are leading the way right now. Let's see if this is being updated. California, Minnesota leading the way right now. Michigan, Texas, Michigan. I'm expecting Texas numbers to get higher and higher. So there's going to be a lot of them. Shocking things. This is Vegas D-Tech guy. He's going to go back in time because this guy has been following what's going on with Lake Mead for years. So he decided to go back in time and give you a time lapse kind of a deal. He went back in 2020. He's been doing it for 6 years. 2020, then 2021, 2022. He's going to show you the progression of drought, the lowering levels. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing. I might have to evacuate my family. Of course, it's big breaking news. Officials go door to door, mandatory. This is happening in Utah, and expect that this is going to go much bigger. I mean, you've had this drought, and now you got 100-degree temps, and then you have disgruntled citizens and illegal aliens that are disgruntled, people that are angry. At some point, people do all kinds of things. They get to the end of the rope, and they can't even tie a knot. They just slip. They just slide off. They lose everything, and they lose it. And whenever they see the fire is growing and starting, and more, it's going to be in the news more, and it's going to be in people's minds more. And the reaction is going to be for some people to go out and start fires. Whenever the situation is so dry and you finally get a thunderstorm, the lightning causes more fires too. So 1,000-foot lava fountains soaring from Hawaii. See that new magma finally reached. See 1,000 foot, they can get up to 1,500 feet. The record is 1,900 feet. That's only half as high as the record. So a new batch of magma from the region. They're utilizing ancient trenches etched into the bottom of the tectonic plates, creating more and more efficiency. Everything is heating up. The magma's hotter. It's burning the underside within those trenches. Think about it. Whenever you look on the underside of that tectonic plate and you have all these different trenches reaching the escape hatch, then there's more heat in the trench, which cuts the trenches deeper, which creates more efficiency. That's what's happening underneath the Pacific plate right now. Then disaster from catastrophe. Whenever you see the ground is moving like water, man. What happened in Venezuela with these 2 quakes? Boom, 39 seconds, and then boom. The way the ground was moving is not normal. And then when you look in the background of the videos she's showing you, you see the swell. It's like a circular movement. Not normal. Not just side by side shaking. It was circular. And then the building just collapses in the background. When you watch it the first time, you might not even notice the building because you're looking at the things in the foreground that are just, you're looking at the way it's moving and it's catching your eye. It's not normal. And then in the background, you're seeing gigantic building. It's swaying in a circular motion, and then the whole thing just topples. Really, really good work. Silky, she does an excellent job. Key takeaways from Supreme Court's ruling on Trump's firing power. So he has the power to do some things, not power to do other things. Seems to me that the only elected official over the executive branch that appoints all the other officials, the cabinet and everybody else, he should be able to fire whoever he wants, if you ask me, like the president of a corporation. You're going to tell the president of the corporation he sees inefficiency. He's held responsible, right? The CEO, the COO, however the power structure is in a corporation, he is responsible for the efficiency of the company, for the bottom line to all the shareholders, right? He looks down the food chain in his corporation. He sees inefficiency, he sees corruption, or sees whatever he sees. He should be able to remove anybody immediately. You're fired, just like from his series. The Supreme Court doesn't run the administrative branch. The separation of powers for a reason. They're not elected. If Supreme Court justice, if he wants to have a say over who gets hired and fired in the administrative branch, he should run for president. And that's the way I see it. Of course, that gives great power to the president of the United States, but that's the reason the whole country elects him. You know, all those senators and everybody else is below them, they're all elected by the members of their state. The president and his vice president are elected by the entire country. So you have to be selective in who you choose, right? That's the way China works. That's the way Putin works. If there's somebody inefficient or corruption or whatever, if they're not part of his corruption the way he wants to be, he looks down the food chain and he goes, "You're done." That administrative power is what the system needs to turn the ship around instantly, rather than a big, giant, wide turn or a never turn because the whole system's corrupt. It's being run by bureaucrats, unelected bureaucrats. So I'm for all that. But then the shoes on the other foot, the Democratic guy comes in and he gets rid of all the conservatives. But these are reasons why a democratic form of government has never existed that remained. All of them collapsed. Rome collapsed with their Senate. Greece collapsed. They all collapsed from corruption. So we're seeing that play out before our eyes right now. We shouldn't expect any different result, right? That's insanity. Well, that's the claim. Doing the same thing as the Romans did and the Greeks did, and corruption, devaluing the currency and everything else that's going on, we're going to get the same result. Trump signs presidential memo promoting right to fix vehicles. That's the lobbyists were in there from the Ford, GM, the manufacturers, trying to make it so we couldn't fix our own cars. So Trump signs a memo anyway, a memo promoting. That doesn't mean that the corrupt Congress won't go the other way. No more hospitals. So Karen, you send me a lot of I allegedly. And whenever I'm watching him, basically all I'm getting is a guy with his mug in the face and a background picture. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But no more hospitals. See, this fits in the theme with my patent, remote control surgery and such. Right now, hospitals are closing across the country. People live too far from hospitals to get emergency care. People are dying on the way to the hospital in increasing numbers, and that is only going to get worse. What if you could connect to your doctor using a remote control surgery system? What if a cuff could be put on your body that had a probe that could pressurize and stop your bleeding from a gunshot wound? And your doctor on a joystick could go inside and repair the damage and close you up at the location. Stop the bleeding at the location where you're at so you don't bleed out. What if? To technology was invented in the 1990s. And we'll see. We'll see. Maybe the world deserves to have a population that dies at the scene of the crime. Maybe the population deserves to carry around kidney stones and gallstones that can be all removed in a single procedure without an incision. Maybe the world deserves that. If it does, then this will be my fourth time trying to push this through. And it could be the fourth time. Oh, I don't have kidney stones anymore. All of my kidney stones were removed in one procedure using these methods. Dilate my entire system, and they were all removed one procedure. Now I have not had it. My body was making kidney stones every 10 months for years. It was terrible. Necessity led to the invention and the dilation of my entire system. CPEs. Hopefully you hear about them. Controlled pressurized environments. That's what we're working on. And when the emergency crew can provide you remote control surgery, people don't even have to go to the hospital. And it looks like that's what the world needs right now. But you know what's going to happen? The medical lobby is going to fight it. So I have to devise a plan so that my my vision, my ideas, and the devices all just show up everywhere at once, so the medical lobby can't stop it. That's what I'm going to try to do. Anyway, the Democratic Party must contend with great schism, potential for serious fracture. Look at the right. MAGA is fractured and getting worse. Though, I mean, the one thing about Israel and the propaganda artists is they are utilizing the diluting influence, its power, to force people to believe what is false. Shaking the diluting influence is extremely difficult. That's why the sheep just keep going to destruction. You can't even interrupt them from killing themselves. You blow a loud horn, set yourself on fire. They just don't see it. They can't see it. They can't hear the message because the diluting influence has them by the nose, by a ring in their nose. Maybe that's why I have this thing about the ring in the nose, because the diluting influence is the ring in the nose that keeps people dragged down the road to destruction. And they don't even have to be dragged. They're just being led. And they just keep traipsing along without a care in the world. But I don't see the Democrats having any trouble at all in taking the House and the Senate. And if the Black Star doesn't, if we don't meet up with the Black Star in the next cycle, even taking the White House. And just think it through. If that happens, and the president's removed, and the vice president is removed, as is a conspirator destroying America, then the leader of the House becomes president, and that will be run by somebody like Jeffries, who's taken more than $5 million from AIPAC. You can't make this stuff up. If the lobbyists, the Israeli lobbyists, cannot get what they need from Trump, they're going to replace him, and the Tom Cottons on the right are going to go along with it. Watch and see. That's the road that we're heading down. Trump is in a terrible position for himself and for his family that have been engaged in this manipulation of the oil markets and the bitcoins and all that. There's so much corruption there, it's enough to put them all in prison, which was the case for the Biden crime family too. And they're not in prison, so maybe they'll find a way to get them out of office without them all, like Biden. They got him out of office, they got him replaced, and he's not going to prison anytime soon. Hunter is being interviewed. That guy should be in prison for sure. Irresponsible escapade. What is this? Alito rips SCOTUS majority in ruling involved with big tech data and bank robbery. You can, Marv, you sent this in. You can tell that I didn't read the article, can't you? Supreme Court narrowed the conditions for law enforcement to obtain a warrant, access to someone's Google location, history, and blah, 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 and all that. None of this means anything because AI is already doing this. The NSA is already monitoring everything. If they want to know, they know. So this is going to be a song and dance, good cop, bad cop thing. It's like Israel and the Mossad and CIA, they're already married. They've already passed the honeymoon. People just aren't supposed to figure that out. The Israeli lobby, the propaganda artists working for them, they're extremely adept. They're highly skilled at manipulating the narratives, using all the media, read chapter 3, The Money Manipulators of Neanderthal Conspiracy. You'll see the picture. They've been doing this for, golly, it was old hat to them in the 1970s, just to give you an idea. South Africa on edge with anti-illegal alien protests underway. Well, that's the way it should be. Illegal aliens, the government putting up with illegal aliens, supporting illegal aliens, aiding and abetting illegal aliens, allowing the hiring of illegal aliens destroys the country. Lawlessness. So you expect your citizens to obey all the laws, but you are aiding and abetting illegals. That for each case is a felony. Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1986 says so. Just transporting illegal alien. Hey, get in my truck. I'll take you to work. That's a felony in the United States, according to the law. Nobody's enforcing the law. Trump's not enforcing the law. Holman's not enforcing the law. Playing the same game with the cartels. They're just using the visa programs instead of bringing them across the border. That's an upgrade in the kind of illegal that's coming here. Using H-1Bs and using guest visas, student visas. There's all different types of these. 32,000 a day come here. And the cartel has the infrastructure now to make sure that their people that they're paying, they say, oh, we just can't smuggle you in anymore. You have to go this way. Costs more. So they've upgraded the illegal that comes here. And they come in on a plane, they meet their family, they have a visa, and then they just blend in and stay off the worst of the worst list. That's what's happening right now. And the South Africans, that's where Don is. They're sick and tired of it. Like a lot of other countries. JetBlue pilot reports striking drone while landing at JFK Airport. Is this intentional? Is it not intentional? At some point, all it takes is one of those drones with a grenade on it to start taking out our planes. That's what Hezbollah is doing to Israel. They're taking out tanks using drones. The drones are doing recon all the time, even up to the moment of impact. They're taking down all the data. It's fed to AI. Then they know what kind of drone and the location of the tanks that they just saw, the personnel carriers, the water carriers, all that. Asymmetric warfare. That's how Hezbollah is getting the upper hand on Israel. Israel needs the United States to keep pumping them with billions and pumping them with more equipment because Hezbollah is taking it out. The freedom fighters. I know how that sounds. Understanding world economy. Oh, free download. This Martin Armstrong. He's consulted by nations. He's going to give you an idea how the world economy really works with a free download there. So you can check him out. ArmstrongEconomics.com. You can find it. Download the document. Check this out. They changed my daughter's last name. This is what's going on in Venezuela. And now she's gone. They're stealing children. They are taking the children who are found alone. Desperate mother says her daughter was rescued after the quake, but when she went to claim her, she was allegedly told the child's last name had been changed and the little girl has since disappeared. So what I wrote back to Karen was, this looks like adrenochrome harvesting by the elite. Whenever they have an opportunity. See, it's easy for the elite to snag children from illegal aliens coming across the border. They had tags, different colored armbands. The children get one color, the parents get a different color. They're separated. Sometimes that they're reunited, and most of the time they are not. The children are just taken and fed into the grinding machine, the elite adrenochrome harvesting. And that's part of the 500,000 children that are missing. But now the children in their illegal alien parents, they're coming through the visa program. It's difficult to snag them. So how are you going to feed the beast? You can have to you have these type of events, and then you have the cartels are in there, the CIA's in there. They're feeding the beast. That's the global banksters and their minions. Yeah, Chinese people finally rebelled. Mass. See, Xi and the generals, the military, they're getting forced to do something. Russia, the generals, the people are forcing Putin to do something. Expect to see the Iranians get more emboldened because they're getting smoke signals from the Russians and the Chinese that we have to do something. This has to change. The problem in the Ukraine has to stop. The problem with NATO using Ukraine as their proxy has to stop. We're reaching a tipping point in World War III while the economy is doing the same thing, while our oil is running out, the food in our warehouses are running out, our ability to transport the food with the diesel shortage, all this is all happening at the same time, which tells me the banksters are ready to kill the dollar and the dollar hegemony of the United States, the military hegemony of the United States, which means at some point the linchpin is going to be the attacks on our Navy carriers. When you see that, expect this whole house of cards just to tumble down. Putin prepares a bank robbery. He will confiscate 30 trillion rubles of Russians, likely from funds, like the EU, like the Americans holding Iranian funds and Russian funds. There's people doing business with the Russians. Watch out. And with China. Yeah, check this out. China secretly launches mysterious unidentified object from space plane. The statement was made. Where was it? Oh, do you see where the Colonel, Daniel Davis, interviewed Anna, Anna Kasparian? I just mentioned her to you guys. I caught one of her interviews. Now, they should be the Young Turks, left leaning, like, oh my God. But listen to her. The Colonel has her on there for a reason, on his channel for a reason. She used to hate Republicans. She's going, man, they're playing divide and conquer against us. We need to stop doing that. We need to all work together. That's one of the things that I admire about her. And she's smart. This guy right here is too. But a lot of his videos are members only, members only, members only. I've never made a members only video. And if you subscribe at Substack, then you're supporting me, but everything is shared with everybody. I think that's the way it should be. Lord God is going to look on our good works. Lord God is going to look kindly upon us, and any reward we're missing out on here, Lord God is going to multiply that by 10 on the other side. So China just shut down gold trading. The Iran deal just broke the global economy. This guy right here is really good at explaining what's going on in the markets. Really, really good. These guys come out with something? Nope. The drones. Give him a little time. He gathers data for like a week and then makes some videos. Electronic infiltrata. I know. Looks like a lefty deal, right? Just listen to him a little bit. What impressed me was the footage showing the drones, real live stuff happening. None of it would be happening to none of the Israeli soldiers or their equipment if they would just go home. Russia launches mass attacks. Ukraine launches mass attacks on Russia. Crimea prepares to evacuate. Putin gets serious and end the war. You level Kyiv, you're going to be closer to ending the war. Say, what? How can you say such a thing? Well, that's what war is. You kill enough people on the enemy side, so they wave the white flag, and then you don't have to kill anymore. The way they've done it, far more Ukrainians died doing it this way, right? If they would just gone in for the kill shot, like Scott Ritter said they should have done, I thought that it was going to be a real war when it started. It wasn't. Scott Ritter was fooled. He's one of the best analysts out there, if you ask me, Scott Ritter. He said the war should have been over in a week, 4 days, or whatever. It should have. It could still right now if Putin gets serious and stop messing around. But Putin's not running the show. The banksters are. He's doing what he's told. And Ukraine and Iran are being used to drain resources from the West. So it's like the chemtrailing out in New Mexico, Arizona that stopped. It's because they achieved their objective. When the elite, when the globalists, the banksters achieve their objective, then the wars will be over. But then it's going to be too late for Western civilization. New Putin from diplomacy to war. Well, he got the memo from the global bankster cartel. This is where I spend quite a bit of time in the evenings. They're getting a little bit entertaining, a little bit too much of the entertainment for me, particularly when they first start and they're laughing and the joke, people are dying, it's war. But, on the other side, then maybe that's what helps them not to drag, a little bit of, like a little bit of violin for me seems to help me. So maybe there's a need for that. Well, this is where I spend a lot of time in the evenings because Mario has a great team of producers that pump him information. It keeps it live, especially the live interviews. So we're getting live information as it's happening. Where can you go to get that? Live. And then Larry Johnson or one of these guys here starts giving you the commentary in real time. And that's really, really good. Really good coverage. See, Anna, he's asking her questions to help Emma to understand more of the big picture because this lady right here, she's really good. She has a lot of good insight from the other side of the spectrum and from the middle of the spectrum. I really like these guys because they're more critical of the Trump administration. People on the right, they want to defend and protect other people on the right. You don't get that with her. She doesn't protect the lefties or the righties or anybody. She pretty much be angry at everybody and for and for the people. So she's one of my favorite commentators, this lady right here, among all of them. So I'm not surprised that the Colonel is having her on his show and asking her question after question after question. Not surprised at all. She'd be just telling you like it is, pulling no punches either. Talking about Tom Cotton and everything, and just telling the truth. I really love the truth. Give me the truth. Greater Israel lies in ruins. This guy right here, Henningsen, Patrick, very, very good. He'll help you pull down the smoke screen, see what's really happening. This is what I'm going to listen to the rest of this while I'm uploading this video. Then the judge, this guy laughs way too much for me. John, yeah, him, way too much laughter during his delivery. He still gives good information. I like the judge's questions. He leads us down different paths than you're going to get from the colonels or anybody else, in my view. Job market nightmare. Looking into the eyes of the people that are suffering under this administration. I'm not saying that Biden was any better. I'm not a lefty at all. You guys know that. But we've been lied to. And I'm trying to think if there's anything that burns me more than being lied to. Somebody looking right into my face and lying to me. That's what we're getting out of Fox News. That's what we're getting for Trump every time he opens his mouth. Doesn't matter if you're righty, lefty. Don't lie to me. They're manipulating us with lies. That's what the devil does. No, people are realizing America we grew up is gone. Oh, just about every day I check out what she's doing. Homestead Journey lady, because the people explaining in real time what they're living with, what they're going through. More and more people are getting to the end of their rope, man. You know, I haven't added this other guy in the lineup, but he shared a number yesterday that kind of shocked me. 240,000 people in the United States now are dying from depression. They're getting to the end of their rope and they don't have anywhere to go, anything to do. That inside they're just giving up inside. Yeah, people are finally realizing. Some people are able to wake up and see what's happening. Nothing new from the modern refugee guy. I recommend all of his videos. Shocking truth of Lyme disease and ticks and bioweapons. Yeah, soft kill biological weapon. That's what Lyme disease is. I had it. I'm on the regimen, staying on the regimen. This is one of the reasons why. We have ticks around here. I was, because of my experience with Lyme disease, I was petrified of being bitten by a tick at all because it could have the Lyme disease. And here I go again, going through that. My weight got down to 149 pounds. And I'm normally, well, when I went to the heart doctor to get myself fixed, I had to jump on the scale. 206 is what I was then. I jumped on the yesterday, admittedly after doing as much yard work as I could, 183. After rehydrating and everything, I got back to 186. And Kat was really worried. She goes, 183, oh my God, oh my God. But I was 180 for years. I'm getting the watermelon diet and the things that I'm doing right now. It's probably getting more evacuation on my digestive tract. And my Nikki told me that my intestines are all swollen because of what I've been doing to myself. That makes my gut grow and makes you gain weight. And Kat was even mentioning, I was bringing the groceries in. She's going, and she was watching me coming from the truck, and she made a comment that I'm losing weight, which is a good thing, right? My body is slowly. Oh, I got a message from Nikki that her the regimen that she has for me, the herbs and all that, that it's in. So I have to get over there. I'll give you some reports. So I'm in limbo right now. I haven't even started her regimen yet. So she'll rescan me again and see if there's any improvement in what's going on. The gasoline shortage developing. I'm telling you, if you're just checking out Fox News, there's no problem at all. Everything's just fine, right? I'm telling you, we're not fine. Looks like war might be back on the table soon. Yeah, it's been going. The tit for tat is happening. We're going up the escalation ladder. We're already on the escalation ladder. And Israel is not going to stop. And Iran is not going to let them get away with it. The United States is joined at the hip with Israel. That's why Trump wants out of the MOU. Smart prepping doesn't look like this. Stop wasting money. This guy can help you stop wasting money. Jeremiah, we are heading for big trouble. Amen, brother. Alert, intense U.S. Air Force activity. Israel preparing to strike. You may be tired of me saying it, but we appear to be on the precipice of something, just a lot of bad things happening. Unusual activity. I really respect Nate's perspectives on things. He's usually ahead of the curve. The things that he says happen, but they just take a little while to happen. One mistake, shared this with you yesterday. There's a time to block and there's a time to get out of the way. Training will help you to identify the difference. Obviously, steel bar, baseball bat or something, you don't just put your arm up. Emergency update. Next strike could ignite World War. It could easily. See if he's updated anything. 6 hours ago. Fine cover breaking. CME hits Earth. I just showed you the thick wave. It's not fast moving yet, but it is a really thick wave coming now. So watch. So on this side of the planet, watch Haiti. Um, Weak power systems, the canary in the coal mine. On the other side, sections of India. Make sure when those go down, then we need to start paying attention. Make sure you take care of your water totes. It's important. Notice they're black, like the water tanks here, they're black. That keeps the algae from building up inside of them. Any light whatsoever, the algae is going to start blooming on you. And finally, do-it-yourself Indiana Jones real-life survival belt. Shared that with you yesterday. Anything new come out yet? Nope. So this type of equipment, these survival items, when you can pick them up if you have resources. Pawn shops and such, because these as barter items, when you start peanut butter's the fan and you have this type of stuff, these little tools, multi-tools and things like that, that's big time barter item. People see that on your little table for barter, they'll be willing to give you something for it, because they realize that they really need those things. And that's it. That's all I can think of to share with you for today. Appreciate your support very, very much. Get more information at terror03.com. See you on the next Black Star Update Report.